Hi.
Hi.
So OMG, does everybody have like their Uggs and their vest and like their pretty little Karen haircut and like, oh my God.
No, I've got tea. I've got hat
Sorry,
tea.
Grims, that's my best Valley girl that I could ever do. So yeah.
Like, oh my God, what are you talking about? I thought that was your normal voice.
Good evening, ladies. How is everybody doing?
All right.
It's
doing it.
Fall. That's all I can say. It's fall, so I'm happy.
It's fall.
It doesn't feel like fall. It feels like summer.
Really?
Yeah.
It feels pretty. It feels cool down here. I mean, it's surprisingly
still hot. We still have the fan running in the room to say that it's still hot.
Oh, I have a fan on all year round. So
do I. I sleep with a fan on and it's 68 degrees in the bedroom at all times. So yeah. Or colder. In the wintertime, it'll be 30 degrees outside. I'll pop the window open, have the fan in the window, pulling the cold air, and the kids are like, I swear we open up the door and there's icicles in your room.
I can't do that. My dad does that shit. I can't do that. No. My dad lives in a cave. The kids and I stayed there briefly. And anytime I've ever gone over to visit him, it's never warmer than like 58 degrees in that house. Like fucking ever. I'm like, how do you live like this? No, I can't do it. I can't. I will sleep like this though. I will sleep with this on and the hoodie.
Oh wow.
And blankies. Yeah, I'm a baby. But I like the cool air. I don't mind it. Like I don't want it to be hot in the bedroom when I'm sleeping. I won't wake up nice.
Oh, see, I'm one of those, like, it's like a t-shirt and then just like blankets. Well, then again, I have Jason and he just puts off so much heat that him and the dog. So
yeah, dealing with another body in there, that definitely has an effect on the coolness of the room. Yeah, and the dogs, they're definitely little heaters.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we have a cat that sleeps with us every night. So yeah, she we have to kind of share the covers with her and everything. So she's cute though. So
Magnus does have his own blanket. He's got a few that are his own blankets that we'll cover him with.
We have all three dogs in the bed with us, but that's why we got a king size bed, because it's one of those where we have no room. Like JD and I have like this much room on the end of each side of the bed, and all three of the dogs are in the middle of the bed, trying to push each other someplace else. And I put a blanket on the top of the main comforter on the bed, and they like Maisie and Otto will fight over it, even though it's like a king size blanket.
Oh wow.
They get up underneath it and then they do the twist underneath and like twist the whole blanket. What the fuck are you guys doing? And then one of them will fart and under the blanket and Dutch oven the other one. And Maisie, whether Maisie farts or not, she's the one that gets up and gets out from under the blanket.
Yeah, it's too much.
Otto will lay under there until he can't breathe. Like he'll be like, it's like, buddy, get out of there. Like you're gonna kill yourself. Methane gas.
It's not that serious.
Right. Yeah. Like, and then JD and I are like, guys, come on. Like, stop. Both of us are sitting in bed like this. Like
see, I have to deal with both Magnus and Jason in that front.
Oh gosh.
Oh yeah, but Magnus. Oh man.
I'm gonna send you a gas mask for Christmas.
Can I have one too? Because
yes, you got
every once in a while,
dog gas, and
JD's usually pretty good. Like I'll hear him, but it's not really that smelly. But every once in a great while, he'll have like a couple weeks where it'll just smell like nasty egg farts. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like
yes.
Sulfur.
A couple weeks ago, we were playing Destiny 2 with E Prime, and like it just he wouldn't like he ate, I don't know what he ate, but every time he'd fart, I would just get blasted with it. And I'm sitting there with like my headset on and the mic in my face. And I'm like, oh my God, come on. I'm trying to kill shit. And I got egg fart in my face. It doesn't happen very often though. So it's like, it's one of those situations where I just pick on him about it now. I'm like, yep, you and your egg farts. So.
Jason,
You play Destiny?
Destiny 2, yeah. Well, I mean, I played the other one, but the first one right now we're trying to get through Destiny 2 because come November they're taking a lot of shit out of the game. So
yep. My son is actually a huge Destiny player. He actually earned this really freaking awesome like heavier jacket. He earned it like from points or something like that from some event that he did. But yeah, he's a huge Destiny gamer. Yeah.
That's awesome. It's a lot of fun.
I actually know that title.
We actually started our own clan in Destiny 2 for the ROC.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I mean, if he wants in
that's
it,
awesome.
that's not a big deal because we can always use more clan members.
Yeah, seriously. That's what he's always saying.
I gotta get a new. I think our router's shit. So I got to get a new router because we're having a hard time. Well, I mean, there are times when like 4 of us are on Xboxes playing,
right.
And it's really just it. And some people are like, there are 4 of you in there playing an like Elijah's playing upstairs. Marissa's playing downstairs. I think we were playing with Dakota and he was like, so 3 of you are on the same Wi-Fi, right? And we're like 4 of us, and he was like, "What?"
Yeah, I'm shocked. Yeah, I'm shocked you were able to do. I mean,
yeah,
I've got maxed out.
Tough.
I got maxed out in here what I can get, but like when I come on to do the show and stuff like that, I'm like, all right, everybody with a cell phone, cut up the fucking Wi-Fi. It's not gonna work.
Right.
We're going. Anybody who's hardlined can stay on. Other than that, no. Turn off the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a new router. I've been researching some shit and I found one. I'm just gonna blow the money and get like some crazy fucking like I've done some research and looks like an octopus. It's like
yes. Yeah, I want that one.
I'm going
Russ
for it.
And RJ and I sat there because RJ and I are the 2 computer geeks in here, and we sat there like drooling over this thing a few months back, and we're like, do we? Don't we? Do we? Don't we? Do we? Don't we? Do we? And I was like, well, if we both go in on it, he goes, yeah, but still, that's a lot of freaking money. I'm gonna go, I know. He goes, but do we? Don't we? Do we? Don't we? So yeah, I think we're gonna end up getting it though.
It's just like when you have enough people who are drawing from your internet, I think it's almost a necessity, and this place is like 3 stories and there are so many dead spots in this house. Like if I go out to if you go out in the kitchen and you're trying to use the Wi-Fi, you're not loading anything. Like it just stops. Right. You're done.
Right.
The 3rd floor, it's spotty. And from my understanding, if I get the right router, those dead spots could completely go away. So I'm just going for it.
I mean, you could try the boosters that you put in like throughout the house, but those are sometimes crap. So
yeah, we've tried them. They don't really work that great. And I will definitely hit up JL about that. I will before I purchase. I'm talking to him first.
Yeah.
Because he knows what's up. I probably will hit Gord up too, because like between the 2 of them, I'm not doing anything without their expertise. So we'll definitely go there. Sorry guys. I know you got do you either one of you play any video games?
I've talked about it before. I'm a Fortnite player.
Right.
So I like playing that, but I also play Call of Duty mobile, not on any things, but I play mobile. I'm a mobile gamer, which is the least favorite of all the gamers because people think that they're not legit in that sense. It's just a different way of playing. I don't know what it is about controllers that confuse me too much. They don't move the way I want them to. They either move too fast or too slow, and I just can't get I got to make this many fingers work, and it's all like, no.
Finger smashing.
Yeah, that's what I'm used to. Like when I would play, like if let's say I play Smash, I'm not doing real things. It's jump, like that's how I play. The most that I maybe did that like console gaming would be like Sonic the Hedgehog, which I still love to play.
Yeah.
Which I now play mobile because it happens to have a version on there. But outside of that, I used to do a lot of more computer gaming. World of Warcraft was the main one. So I'm used to that, like where, you know, you can guide through this hand and click with that hand.
Right,
Such, but not console.
I started playing the Xbox a couple of years ago. I bought one for myself. Probably like almost 3 years now I've had mine. And I did the same thing. I did like mobile games before that because I hadn't played video games in forever. And then I got that controller in my hand because that was the most intimidating part. And I still have a hard time with it because it's huge. Like my hands are not that fucking big. Like the joystick's here, the buttons over here. I'm like, like
they do
like,
make like mini ones. Sometimes they make the mini ones, which are off market and stuff of that nature.
Yeah.
Smaller hands in that sense. Mostly kids.
Okay, but some of us have small hands.
Yeah, small hands that need it. We used to, because I did lie. We did have a GameCube growing up. So me, my brother, and sisters, the GameCube, you could do 4 controllers. So we all bought the smaller controllers and would hook up and play with each other. Just because there's an age difference. Me and my youngest sister are 13 years old, and so there is a huge gap. And they need the little hand controllers if we're going to play and kick her ass. Usually we always left her alone, and the other 3 would really compete, and she just kind of got to do whatever. We always had the rules. So like she's too young. Don't kick her ass too much. The other 3 of us will just play and beat each other. And if she's left over, she's left over.
That's hilarious. We did the same thing though. But we had our Super Nintendo. I was like 15 when we got that, and it was just our middle sister doesn't really like video games that much, and then the youngest. So we're 10 years apart. I'm 15, she's 5, and we're sitting there side by side, like the whole time, blasting through all kinds of shit, having a ball. And then our sister who's in the middle would be like, I hate you guys. I can't do this. How come you're so good at this? She's 5. How come she can do it? And it's like,
it's surprising just technology, how much the little kids can just, because it's second nature to them. I may have mentioned it before, but my youngest sister, being 13 years younger than me, she knew at 3 years old how to turn on the computer, put her favorite CD game and open it and play it without any help. She learned how to do it by watching us do it for her. Right. It's just, they just absorb. That's why the best thing, my mother wanted me to learn Spanish when I was young. So that's why she always had my grandmother, who only spoke Spanish, to like watch me. And I used to be able to understand it perfectly fine, but as time went on, I wasn't using it. I wasn't really speaking it. I would only listen. And so, for example, Melissa for the longest time would only speak Spanish to me to try to get me to try to learn it and figure it out. And I got pretty good at kind of understanding what's going on, but no.
Yeah, I was kind of like Grimm's. I did a lot of computer games. And I mean, I remember the old, like we had one of the old Apples where it was like you had to click on this button to click here, to click here, to click here, to click here, to click here to get a game. It was like 20 clicks for a game. And then in high school, I used to do a lot of LAN parties with some of my guy friends. That was, when we didn't have laptops, we had the full monitor,
PC, computer, right over there. One of my friends' boyfriends did that. They would have the LAN parties, and we would go, when we go see him or hang out, we'd be like, oh, nerd. I know there's probably a lot of them, but I thought I was cooler than I am now, but I was like, nerd.
Yeah.
I don't take that title of being a nerd.
Yeah, exactly.
And what's funny is like we were the typical like going to the grocery store and getting the chips and getting the soda. So now like when I'm at the grocery store and I see these guys and I'm like, you guys are going to a LAN party or you're going to some sort of like
gaming. You're gaming. You're gaming tonight.
Weird.
I'm doing Doritos.
They're like,
specifically the gaming bag versions.
They're like, how do you know? And I'm like, because I used to be one of you. And they're like, no. And I was like,
girls don't do that.
My best friend,
just like farting, girls don't do that.
No.
My best friend and I, way back when Castlevania came out, my best friend and I sat there and played for a good 2 days straight, going back and forth, just to beat it. because you couldn't save the game really. It was, you know, it was like you just had to plow through it. And this was before even like the Nintendo Power magazine, you know, that everybody had it and you could, you know, go through and find the, you know, the tips and tricks. And I remember playing with her with Zelda. You know, we're playing Zelda and everybody, you know, you go to school and it's like, oh, you got to burn the bush. There's a bush and you're sitting there talking. And people have hand-drawn maps and stuff like that. And it was like, my kids the kids today have no freaking clue what it was like back then.
When you had to go to like GameStop or something and get like the really big books.
Yeah,
well, the books and that you had to go through. Like I had some of those because I had a PlayStation.
They were expensive though back in the day, man.
Oh,
like
I used to ask them for Christmas. That was one of my those were like Christmas gifts for me. They were gold.
My dad was super into Castlevania. We got our Super Nintendo. Dad wanted Castlevania when it came out, and he loved that game. And he has terrible hand-eye coordination, and his depth perception sucks ass. But he loved that game, and my mom loved. Yeah, mom always played any of the Zelda games. Like that was she loved it. I remember waking up at like 5:30 in the morning to get ready for school, 5:30, 6 o'clock. And normally I got up that early because I had to get my sisters up too. And I wake up and mom's sitting on the living room floor with the map on the floor because she bought the book. Like she got stuck so many times. Like I think the first 2 months we had the game, she called the number in the back of the little tiny manual that comes in the like called them like, I'm stuck here. Where am I supposed to go? Like she freaked. She had problems, man. So she told dad, she's like, I'm blowing the money. I'm getting the book. I don't care. Like she bought the book. And I'd wake up in the morning and she's sitting there on the floor like an Indian with the controller in her hand and like the map on the floor. And she's just sitting there staring. I'm like, you're worse than I am, man. You're totally worse than I am.
I had the books because I got into Final Fantasy. So I had like some of the books.
That's
awesome.
The
only Final Fantasy I played was 10.
Russ and I actually had a Final Fantasy for Super Nintendo when we first got together. And we were given the Super Nintendo and given the Final Fantasy game that we were playing. I don't even remember which one it was. And he and I sat there for months. He would come home from work and I'd still be at school or I'd be at work and he'd be like, all right, he'd sit there and he'd play for a little bit. I'd get home from work or from school and he'd be like, all right, your turn, hand off the controller to me. And it was months that we were playing that thing. I'm surprised we didn't kill the Nintendo, but yeah.
No, JD just got the remake for Final Fantasy VII.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and that's an old that's an older Final Fantasy, and it's beautiful. Like the remake is amazing.
I think I played 5. I think 5 was like one of my favorites, if I remember correctly. Because I just remember in high school, you know, for fun, we would go to like Walmart and Target, and I remember being in Target when the PS2 came out, and I was just like, I want that. Because a lot of it was because there was a game, and I can't remember what the game was. But I was like, I want that game. And I mean, and I kept going there and looking at it. And my friends apparently told my mom. And for Christmas, I got the PlayStation and that game. And I was spent all my time playing it. I was like in the basement, and that's all I played.
So the coolest story about a PS2, okay? When the PS2 came out, Russ was working in a warehouse. And they always had a Christmas party and they did like a giveaway, you know, like a raffle thing. Well, Russ knew that one of the things they were giving away was a PS2. And before he left for the party, he said, wouldn't that be cool as shit if I won the PS2? And I said, yeah. I said, but then we'd have to hurry. This was like 2 days before Christmas. I was like, we'd have to hurry up and get games and stuff. I said, but you probably won't win it. He goes, yeah, probably not. Because we couldn't really afford to get it for RJ at the time. And RJ would have loved it. Sure enough. Yeah. Russ comes home, comes walking in the door with this freaking PS2 in his hands. He goes, guess what I won? I went, shit, guess where we're going tomorrow? we went and we bought RJ because RJ was like 7 years old. And we walked into the store and I had no idea what PlayStation games were or anything. And I was like, I'm looking, I'm going, the hell kind of games do we buy a 7-year-old that has been playing, you know, a Nintendo 64? I'm like, I don't know what any of these games are. So Russ and I just picked a couple and brought them home. And RJ was like, when RJ opened it up for Christmas, he was in love and he hasn't backed away from PlayStation since. So yeah,
that's cool.
I still have that PS2 upstairs too.
Jason convinced me to get rid of mine.
Oh.
Well, because he had the PS3 and now 4, and I think he's waiting on the 5.
So I have the PS2, the PS3, and the PS4, and we're getting a PS5. I also have a GameCube, a Super Nintendo, 2 Switches in the house, and we have an Atari 64, and I have a Nintendo emulator. So
I still have my Wii.
I had that. I had to get rid of it because it died.
Okay, apparently Jason corrected me. It was dead. It was still kind of. I don't know. I mean, I played that. I played that thing.
These things die sometimes, you know.
They do.
They just do. I mean, I think that's another reason why mobile gaming was so attractive to me once I got a smartphone, because I was like, I don't want to blow a bunch of money on something that's probably not going to last forever. You know, not that the phone will, but I can always get a new phone for cheaper and just keep fucking around. But no, I played games on my phone, but I don't know. It just kind of, I didn't play fun games, I don't think, because I'd play like Words with Friends and then nobody would want to play with me after a while.
Oh no! I have my Switch.
You're muted, Grims.
Sorry, I was gonna say, yeah, there's a lot of random games that you could play on the mobile, but you got a lot of more kind of simple style games like tower defense and things of that nature. There are a few that do more the hardcore style, but yeah, you are getting something simple. Like Gort, he loves the game Flow, which is connecting the dots and all that stuff. Yep. So, but sometimes it's just killing time style games. That's what I kind of find tends to be the most common ones that I play. I
did put Tetris on my phone. I had to.
Cool.
I'll pay for that shit. I'm putting it on there. I don't give a fuck. It's Tetris, you know. It's awesome. I even like them. I'll even turn the music on. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I want to hear the music too. It's good stuff. I was addicted to Fruit Ninja for a hot minute when I first got my my Apple years ago.
What about Candy Crush? That's the killer.
No, I never got into.
A little. Yeah,
I played a bit, but I didn't get too far on it.
What is Brian talking about? What's Happy Glass? I don't know. See, I'm not up on the mobile gaming right now.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know.
I'm there with you, Nick. The Roller Coaster Tycoon. Yeah, I got into that.
RJ had,
and then of course I was like the Farmville on Facebook. Some of those games.
Now, when RJ was little, and I'm talking 3 years old, we bought a PC. We bought our first PC, and it was a Hot Wheels PC. It was all decked out with the flames and whatnot, and it came with the pedals and the steering wheel, and you could play these Hot Wheels games, like driving games and stuff, and build your own track and whatnot. And RJ was addicted to that Hot Wheels game, to the point where he couldn't even hardly reach the pedals. I had to put them up on books and stack them up, because sitting in the chair, he could never reach them on the floor. And he'd have the pedals, and he'd be sitting there driving this thing, and he'd be like, "I'm gonna hit the cat." I'm like, "Don't hit the cat!" I'm like, "You just jump," because it was like track inside of a house and whatnot. Yeah, he was addicted to this game, and I just remember sitting there watching him, and I kept telling Russ, "We have a gamer on our hands," and Russ was like, "Yeah, he won't switch over to console though." Russ got him playing Star Fox on 64.
Oh,
and RJ sat there and was like, "How do you play? How do you play this? How do you play?" And he started playing, and then Russ had the high score on, all the way down on the game, because he just played it all the time. Within about 3 or 4 months, RJ had the highest score all the way down, and RJ was hitting the levels, different areas in the levels that Russ could never get to, and Russ was like, "That's it, I give up."
He's like the master has now passed on.
Yes.
Yeah, the apprentice has now passed the master.
Bethany, Jason wants to know what the game was.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of what it was. But he is right. Sims, oh my god. When the Sims originally came out, the 2D pixelated, I had all of the the CDs for it. And as soon as they came out, I was at the store, because I think they only were like at Best Buy, and I would go to Best Buy and spend like the $25 or $30 for it.
Oh, jeez.
And then I got in college, I had a MacBook, and I was actually at the Apple store, and they had the original Sims. So I bought it to have it for my MacBook.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
It's just there's something about the original Sims that you don't have with the new Sims now.
I never played Sims, but just SimCity. That was one that I had played a lot.
I think I'm in the same boat, Grims. I didn't really get into the Sims, but SimCity was something I did play quite frequently when I was younger.
And just get pissed off when they would build incorrectly. So you had to like get the lands first so like they build correctly. It's like, stop building that way. You're not making it, so you can't get a big building. Stop it.
Yeah.
I was a big Civilizations fan. Like, I loved playing Civilizations because I was like, let me see how much land I can conquer.
I remember that game.
I wish I could find it again. I haven't found it.
Thanks, Brammer. It's a nice cozy beanie. It's not super tight either, so it's like woo, you know. It's just a snuggle. It's like a little snuggly blanket for my brains.
I have a beanie with one of the little fluffies on top.
Yeah, I have one like that too. I like the little, like it reminds me of the 80s so much. And it even has like, you got to fold up the thing. And like, I feel like I'm 5 again. And like, yes. Hey, like, I wanted to tell you guys that JD tattooed my hands earlier this week.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Awesome.
Oh, that is so cool.
Oh, that's freaking wicked.
He's going to color them. They're not colored in yet, but like, how about that? That's nice.
That is,
I like that.
That is awesome.
And then Ram Man, you know.
Yeah. Fucking A. Hell yeah. I like it.
Zombie dead Ram Man. But like, yeah, it's I was excited. I keep catching my eyes are catching my hand. I'm like, whoa. Whoa.
How much does it hurt doing the back of the hand since there isn't much flesh? Not flesh, but like fat there.
Yeah, that's a different animal, man. Like I have tattoos all kinds of places where it's one of those like maybe it should have hurt more, like my ribs. And that was like, I got my ribs done when I was still like, you know, skin and bones kind of situation. So they were definitely a lot more pokey than they are now. And it should have hurt a lot, but like the vibration on the bone made me laugh. Like it tickles to me from like inside. I'm like, you know.
Right.
And JD did tattoo my back, so like it's going over the spinal cord and everything wasn't really that bad, and I was still pretty thin at that point. And they say like the butt cheeks are pretty tender as well because it's just like loose, you know. So
it's just I mean, it's muscle and fat.
Yeah, but it's loose. It's not a firm, you know, it's not like a rock or anything. So it jiggles around and it's very tender skin because you don't really like brush burn your asshole against everything. So it's like, you know, it's very new skin kind of a situation.
Yeah.
Right.
So what you're saying is you need to get spanked a lot first, tougn up that butt, and then get the tattoo.
What you need to do is you need to get some of that body cream. You need to get some of that body cream from which Pure Romance, which I was using to kind of tighten up my my booty, and I started calling it the booty cream. Or booty lotion instead of body lotion.
Even this comes onto my collarbone a little bit, and that really wasn't that bad, you know. But man, like that, there's just something at like my knuckles. When he did my knuckles, it was kind of tender, and I was like, this is a little, you know, because the skin's thin and it's a lot of bone, you know, it's right over bone and stuff.
Yeah, that's right over bone.
And
it's
I was
not like you're doing the underside where it's the fat.
No,
not fat, but the whatever,
like the little meat there, yeah. So I was a little concerned when he was going to do my hand because I was like, this was a little, it was a little pinchy. It was a little, you know, it wasn't easy. And he did like color them in. So it wasn't like it was just like a little outline of something.
Mhm.
So there was a little more time on the knuckles, but like the hand thing, that was way different animal. Like I will admit that like the palm, like the main part of the hand wasn't as bad. But when he went over like the middle knuckle, like that bit, like right in the middle knuckle there,
Mhm.
I was like ready to crawl right out of the chair. I was like, no, holy ball sacks. I just looked at him like, do I have to make a fist while you do that? Like, can't you just slide the skin off to the side and not be like, all right,
Just take the skin off my hand and put it back on.
Yeah, because he was even like
that specific phrase, using that in different ways.
I know, right? But like he even said, he was like, yeah, that webbing can be a little tough too, like in between the knuckles. Like this one was pretty rough, like in here. But even that webbing wasn't as bad as like directly over like that fucking hard nub of the knuckle, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there like freaking Nurkles, like, god damn, that hurts, you know.
And then you still have to go back for any color in, or is that stuff done?
Yeah. Nah, and it's gonna hurt, but it's like I feel like some things are worth a little bit of pain. Like the sides of my hands were really bad too, like right here when you get to like that baby skin on the side of your hands, or coming in toward like the web of between like your thumb and your first finger. It's like it's a little tender, but it's like it's not anything you can't push through and just be like, nah, shake it off, you know. And your adrenaline kicks in once the pain is like at a certain point, and you start feeling like it doesn't hurt as bad. Like you're like,
yeah,
because it's like your body's already known that there's going to be pain over there, so it's like you're acknowledging that there's pain.
Right.
It's
just rough when he picks up and he goes to another spot. Like he's here and then he moves over to this side and you're like, I wasn't expecting you to go there yet.
Like,
I was letting myself out and you got there too early.
Do you have tattoos on your feet? On the tops of your feet?
No.
I used to work with someone who had a tattoo on the top of her foot, and I was like, did that hurt? She goes, oh, fuck yes. I was like, because I thought about it, and I'm scared too. I know that's gonna hurt because I got bony feet.
And I mean, especially if you don't have like, if your skin on your feet is still very like soft and you know, like almost like baby feet. If your feet haven't had like damage from the sun for years and years and years, you know, and your skin's not tough or whatever, it is going to be a little bit tender, because like
it's also tougher to get that skin tough because it's not the stuff that you walk on, it's the other side of it.
And the other part of that is it's really hard to let that skin heal well, because you want to put it in a shoe. Like you got to put it in a shoe. You got to put it in a shoe. And you technically need like a good 7 days of nothing on that area.
Right.
In order for things to heal nicely. You know what I mean? Yeah. And the other part of that is the foot, from being in and out of a shoe all the time, that tattoo is going to start to wear a lot faster too. It's going to fade a lot quicker. Yeah. Like I never wanted tattoos on my feet for that reason, because I'm like, like why spend the money on something and then let somebody spend their time on something that's not going to stay as nice as it can possibly stay. You know, that's another reason, like, I made the choice not to continue to be a sun baby, because I really didn't spend a whole terrible lot of time out in the sun, like sunbathing and stuff. I did like go outdoors to be adventurous as far as like hiking and things like that. But like when I started getting like larger tattoos and getting them like on my back or on my arms or whatever, I was like, I'm not going to spend that kind of time without like at least a 50 SPF on my skin from here on out. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to damage. So I mean, this is somebody's artwork. You know what I mean? Like this is something they're, you know, I'm paying for it for one, and for two, like they're dedicating their time to this. So I don't want it to get. It's gonna look like it's gonna get faded over time anyway. But I don't want things to go to shit too quickly. You know?
Right.
Yeah. I know, Maya. Like us privileged people, 2 feet.
Well, Maya, you at least can like act like a pirate and actually get away with it with your,
Either that or like find cool, stickers, or like you can actually get some prosthetics tattooed to a degree.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I mean, come on.
Sharpie that sucker. Yep.
You can decorate these things any way you want, and you can take it off and redecorate them.
Come on. Embrace your 90s, high school girl with her Vans and Converse where you colored with Sharpies. Come on now.
Oh gosh. I remember that. Converse and the canvas shoes. Goodness gracious.
We drew all over our jeans too back in the day.
Yes. Oh,
I drew on myself, not
my
clothes.
mom. Yeah. My mom was sitting on the phone. She ran her own house cleaning business for a while, and my mom was on the phone talking to a supplier. And my best friend and I were sitting there, we were painting our nails, and we saw she was wearing these old ratty jeans, and we were like, oh, cool. So we started taking fingernail polish and writing on them with fingernail polish. And she ended up wearing those to clean houses for like a good 3 or 4 months before she finally was like, all right, I'm not going to wear them anymore. But yeah, they were just covered in fingernail polish. We wrote all kinds of stuff all over those.
That's awesome.
I had an old pair of jeans in high school. I had a friend, I let her paint them. Like she had like handprints on like the back pockets, like for the ass.
Mm-hmm.
And then she just painted all over them, and she had a pair, and those were her paint pants, and I just I wore mine until they really did like fall apart.
Right.
I drew all over myself too, Grims, but my daughter did it to a degree I never took it to. Like you couldn't let that kid have a marker or a pen because she would just have it up her arms and like all over her stomach and like
I would do it just on mostly my hands, and I would I had these like weird pen. It was more like pens, like gel pens, but they were like pastel, and so they kind of stood out a little bit against my skin since I had darker skin than I am now because I was a track runner, so I was very tan at that time, and so that's what I kind of did in class because I'm kind of weird. I don't know if any of you guys kind of did stuff like this. When I take notes for school, I actually remember better when I draw when I'm doing my notes.
Yeah,
and so like whatever I'm doing with it. Stuff. Yeah, and somehow that would trigger whatever thing the note I was taking. I don't know. So like kind of like drawing on my hand and stuff would kind of help refocus because my brain, if I'm just looking at it, I'll start going away. But if I'm focusing on the drawing, which really isn't information in that sense, I can take it in auditorily.
Right. Visual learning. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
I like that.
Cool.
So do you think Marissa's going to be one of those that has, tattoos?
Yes. She's and she's not somebody who's taking the tattoos super seriously as far as like there are things that she wants that have sentimental value, but she's making it fun. It's not just like like a memorial piece that somebody like some people take it and they only want tattoos to memorialize losses or something like that. And it's very serious stuff and it has like dark connotation or whatever. But like, she does want some memorial things from like, my stepson passing away years ago. She wants a memorial piece based off of that. But like, she also just wants some fun stuff, just based off of things that she likes, things that she loves, things that keep her feeling happy or whatever. And I think that's pretty cool. That's a fun way to do it. And she wants like full art pieces too, not just like little bitty like things here and that, So it's like going beyond what is currently now like what I would call almost like Pinterest tattooing, where you get like you find like these tiny little pictures and everybody just gets 1,000 of them,
Right.
It's just like more like full art pieces, which I think is pretty amazing because you see some of these art pieces that these tattoo artists are doing that's like full limbs, and it's oh my god, so beautiful. It's just beautiful stuff, and I think that's the way tattoos are eventually going to move into like these full amazing art pieces, because these people who do tattoos now, it's not like it used to be. Like people who do tattoos now are like, they're artists, like full on.
They are.
Have doing this their whole lives, like committing themselves to this career. Like it's a pretty beautiful thing at this point. Not like back when I was a kid, it was like, you know, biker tattoo, flash tattoo shit.
Like the barbed wire and tribal signs and things of that nature. I mean, and not that I would compare any like tattooed artists to the people who are on those like tattoo shows. I can't think of what the one it is that the one band guy does, but I've seen like clips of them on Facebook and whatnot. It is kind of interesting because there are different styles that's like art and just art essentially being imprinted onto the body on that end. And that just is because it's once again, it's more accepting of the self-expression. I think that's where tattoo then just becomes a piece of art and such. But you're right. There are a lot of people who do memorialized style things. And if that's what floats your boat, that floats your boat.
Right.
I actually started following Bailey Aceris's fiance on Instagram because I saw some of his stuff that she had linked, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is amazing!" I was like, "I'm following him."
Yeah,
that's awesome.
One of the best ones that I ever saw online was this guy was an amputee. He had lost one of his arms, and all he had left was like a little bit of a nub, and he had it tattooed as a dolphin, like up in his shoulder, and then like the little nub was like the bottlenose. It was totally cool, and I'm like, holy shit, that's a fun way to do that when you know everybody's going to be looking at it anyways.
Yeah,
you know,
make it a reason
like,
for something to look at.
I love that creativity too. Like you're taking a situation and like genuinely making that your own. You know, like
exactly.
A family friend, Zach, he's a triple amputee, and he has like a nub on his, I think it's his right. Is it a left? I can't remember if it's the right or his left right now. So he only has like a very short, it's like just dropped down off his shoulder, and he got a tattoo of a dotted line with a pair of scissors, and it says "cut here."
Yeah, I've seen this. Yeah,
I love it. I love it. I think it's great.
I want Russ to, where he had his heart surgery and he has the scar on his chest. I want him to get it tattooed as a zipper, and he's like, "Nah, I'm not going to do that." And I'm like, "Come on, it would look so freaking cool."
That's awesome.
He's always called it his zipper.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to take those kind of situations and turn it into your own thing. I'm trying to I keep trying to figure out if I'll be able to handle getting my legs tattooed at some point, because like it would be kind of fun to put something interesting on that scar, those scars, any scars, you know, utilize that and have it, you know, transformed into something fun, something different, you know.
Well, how old were you when you got your first tat, Chan?
I was in my early 30s. I had, you know, of all my closer friends at that point in time, I was one of the only ones that didn't have any tattoos. I left Marissa's dad under duress and, you know, finding out information that I didn't want. And I had left, and a friend was like, "Look, man, my buddy owns a tattoo shop. He'll open doors on Sunday if I ask him to, just because he's a friend of mine. If you want to get a tattoo," because I had talked about it for a long time. They were like, we can just go and do it. Just do it, get it done, get some, you know, pain therapy, blah, 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 all this. And I got my first tattoo on the back of my neck, and I almost passed out because of the positioning, not for any other reason.
Like how you had to stay still?
I had to have my head, like I sat straddling a chair with my chin tucked down to tighten my neck, like just to keep it long. Yeah. And and it was just the outline at the time, and it was pain I wasn't ready for. Like I didn't know, but it didn't really hurt. You know what I mean? It was just like a shock to my system because I wasn't ready for it. And then the way my chin was tipped, that's like a thing.
You were cutting off.
Yeah.
You were cutting off your air circulation.
he actually did the outline pretty quick, and it's a shitty tattoo. I'm not gonna lie, it's not great. It's a $50 tattoo. It was,
Right.
But once the outline was done, I got up, I shook it off, came back out of the tunnel, and whatever. I was fine. Drank a little Gatorade, got myself back together again, and sat back down, and he did the color, and I was fine through that. It's just just one of those things, like, you have to understand that it's just it's gonna hurt. Yeah, I mean, like, I you can have a high pain tolerance. There are a lot of people out there who do, but there's still pain involved. You know what I mean? Like,
there is.
That's what scares me, because I don't have tattoos. I don't even have my ears pierced. I don't like pain. I don't handle pain well.
Yeah.
People always tell me it's not so bad and blah, blah, blah. But I mean, like, I think I'm a person who psyched myself out so much with whatever it is. I'm sure once it would get started, I would be fine, but I don't know if I can get to that point of, like,
having the balls to do it.
Yeah, to get started. I would almost be like, can you just prick me a couple of times? Like, that's what I would want to do. Just prick me a couple times. Like, what is that going to cost? Just prick me a couple times. And
I feel like if you start out with something small, like, get like a little clover or something, like, get something small but meaningful to you, in like a place that it's not going to seriously hurt too bad, like where they would recommend, like, just a place where it's not going to be like, the inside of the wrist can be pretty painful for some people, like, it depends. But like,
I have all the ones that I would like to eventually do, but thinking of a small one, the only small one is the one that I want my hand on this side of the little guy jumping on the trampoline.
I'll tell you the problem.
But that's a fleshy part. That's not going to work. It's going to be very so painful.
The other problem, the other hard part about that is like the palm of the hand, like, you wash your hands all the time.
I don't care if it wears away. I'm not a might. Yeah. Oh, I'm sure it will wear away, but I wouldn't care. If I loved it enough, then I would just get it done again.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm not one of those, like, if it was like a super fancy, like, crazy, but that's like just like line art. Like, that would be like nothing to redo.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
The Kakashi I have on my wrist, it's all just it's all line work. I don't even know if I can turn my arm like that. Yeah. But it's all line work. Yeah. And it's like it's super simple, and it's real thin lines and stuff like that. And it really didn't hurt that bad. All this in here, because of all the shading and everything. That was a little bit. That was a little more to handle, but it really wasn't that bad. It wasn't until, like, the inside tender part of your arm that really doesn't take much damage from anything. It's usually the most pale part of your arm, and it's like baby skin in there, just in that one little strip right in here. And that's like this little petal, and like this mess here, and this here. It's not a mess. I mean, like, but I know what you mean. Yeah. It's like those, like, that tender skin area. The baby skin is the hardest parts. Yeah. Like, that's where the most pain is going to be, like, area, like the back of my shoulder blade. I got a lily back there. Same dude who did the back of my neck. I got a lily on the back of my shoulder blade, and it's just the area of my back where he did it. It's more muscular there. It's not over any bone, nothing like that. Like, I almost, like, I was half nodding out by the time he was done. It didn't hurt. It actually felt good. It felt like a massage on the muscle. I was like, oh, this is pretty awesome. I'm down. Yeah. And JD did my back, and I napped while he did that, because it was just, like, you get used to that feeling. Yeah. And you just find a comfort zone, and you just kind of, like, nod off. But by the time I got by the time JD started tattooing me in my life experience, I had been through my accident, and that was a lot. That was a lot of fucking pain. You know what I mean? So by the time he started working on, like, doing my back piece and stuff like that, it was like, oh, I've experienced worse pain than this. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm fine. I could sleep through this bullshit.
I've got a few tats. 3 of them actually are homemade, like when I was a teenager, Indian ink and a fucking single needle. And the 2 on my back, I've got to get redone. I've got to get covered up because I'm just so done with having them. But the one that I have that used to look really good has gotten so faded and so messed up that I'm like, I'm like, I got to get that done too. So
it's so hard too, because like back in the day, like they were a lot harder with needle. Like the guy who did the one on the back of my neck, the one on my ankle, and my lily is all the same dude, all within the same like 3 months. And he dug that shit in. Like it was like drilling into my skin, like dragging the needle through, like I'm putting this tattoo in there. And he was it was awful fucking situation. I was like, this motherfucker. I wanted to punch him in the face, like, but because of how hard he was drilling it in, but I didn't realize it at the time. I was like, oh, this is just how this is. And then I go and I get a tattoo from JD, and it's like he's so light-handed that you literally only feel the needle. Like and it's described best, and I like how he puts this, is it's like it's a purposeful brush burn is how it feels. You know, like it's a controlled brush burn situation. So you know what a brush burn feels like. This is just a purposeful one. It's just
that's why when I do get my first tattoo, I'm gonna go to JD. I've already made that decision. I will do the drive up to him. And I will get it done.
I mean, I'm not trying to like toot his horn because we're in a relationship or anything.
But there's the trust. There's also the trust in it too. Like if you're having a hard time with it, you feel more comfortable with someone you know who would kind of doesn't need necessarily pamper you for it, but like if you're having a flip out, like just give me a minute, like let me calm down. Like you feel more comfortable versus if it's like someone you don't really know, you're like, I'm flipping out, but like, I don't want to show it.
It's one thing like going into a complete, like a strange shop where you know no one, and you're basically allowing them to put,
something permanent on you.
Like a needle in your skin compared to going to a shop where you have a relationship with the tattoo artist. You know the artist, they know you.
Yeah.
And they can talk to you and they can tell what's going on, what you're kind of thinking.
Yeah, that does help. It does. And it's just nice to know that somebody is like interested in doing this too. Like he is genuinely interested in his work. He, and that's the other part that's so nice, because it's like he is the artist. It's not a piece of fucking flash. He doesn't want to do flash. He wants to do original pieces. He wants that the artwork to be put into it.
See, I would trust JD if I was to walk in and go, okay, this is what I'm into. This is where I want the tat at. This is how big I want it. Make me happy. I would trust his artwork.
And that's probably what I'm going to do. I'm going to look at him and go, this is what I want. This is where it is.
I'll tell you what, like, I love it when he sits down and he draws something, like whenever he takes the time, like somebody contacts him and they're like, okay, then they set up the appointment and they do the whole bit. And he actually sits down and he draws it up, and I get to see what he's doing and I get to watch, and that's a lot of fun. But I also like it when it's a spur of the moment situation, and I've walked in there and I'm like, hey, like we've gone in there together and I'm like, let's do a tattoo. He's like, let's do a tattoo today. What do you want to do? And like my Krang piece, he just drew on with a marker. Like it was a quick, like he looks at a picture of Krang, and it's not a huge tattoo because that takes a little more thought, but like he has that ability though to like just draw it on there and do it. And it looks awesome. Like that Krang still looks exactly the same way it did the day he did it. Like it's so fucking cool that he just drew that shit on there with a fucking marker. Like he sat there with a Sharpie and was like looking at a picture on his phone, like do.
And see, that right there is like a true artist.
Like killing me, man. You're killing me. But yeah, that's
see, I have two that like for me would be really important. One would be my pink flamingo, and the other one would be kind of like the tribute to me and my dad.
Yeah. The fucked up thing about it is at this point, the way that his schedule's going and the way that like I feel like any tattoo shop that has like true artists in it, you definitely have to plan this out, because like right now he's booked like a month or two out, Like, you know, so it's almost like scheduling a doctor's appointment.
Yeah.
And Marissa said to me, she like the last time she was in there with us and I had helped, we moved his room and painted another space and moved all his stuff in there and hung everything. And it was the first time she was in there seeing that. And she was like, she looked at me after she left and she's like, it's like going to like a super cool doctor's office. It's like really comfortable in there, but it's super, like it's clean and it's just it's cool. She's like, you know, and for her to see that like that, it made me understand even more why I'm so comfortable, even beyond the fact that, like I said, we're in a relationship, but it's that cleanliness. It's his personality. He's quiet, you know, so it's not like super distracting, but if you want to have a conversation, he'll talk. Like it's not, he's just into what he's doing. And it just feels good to be in a place. And that's how most of the people who work at his shop are. They're real friendly people. They're all really good artists. It's a fun, laid back environment. It's almost like being in your living room or in a close friend's house. You know what I mean? But it's like a doctor's office at the same time.
It was like
I don't know.
The piercing place I went to get, you know, when I went with my friend and I got a second piercing. It was one of those, like, the guy was super cool. He was like, if you have any questions. And, I mean, he was like, we could not touch anything. It was literally, he was like, I touch everything. You pick out what you want, the studs you want. He's like, we handle it all. Everything was super clean.
It's also a really good time of year to do this kind of stuff because you have time to let things heal before you do go out into the sun or into the elements and things like that. So like the winter and like the late fall, winter, early spring months are usually the best time to do this. And I think that's another part of like this time of the year that gets me all excited because I'm like, oh, let's go get tattoos. You know? Like, I'm like, let's go get tattoos. Let's go get tattoos.
Are you going to make Marissa wait till she's 18 to get a tattoo, or are you going to be okay?
Yeah, because I think that like I think a lot of the time, and there's nothing wrong with people who let their kids get tattoos early. You know, I mean, if that's what they want, but I feel like you change your mind so many times about everything between the ages of 16 and even 20. Agreed. that it's like, you know, you might want something when you're 16 that by the time you're 20 you're not even interested in anymore. You know, so it's like it's kind of crazy.
I say the ideas that I have, I'm pretty solid since they've been ones that I've wanted for like 15 plus years and things of that nature. It's just they're all in, as I said, probably places that I will not want to actually have to deal with the tattoo.
And see, like all of mine have some sort of like meaning, except for one that I think would be really cool. Then again, it also does fit kind of with right now. It's on like the back, right below the neck, clouds, and you can see like the full moon peering out of the clouds, above the clouds and stuff. And then I would like to like get bats somewhere too.
That's cool.
I'm always one of those, like, I always love going out.
I don't have meanings really.
And
people,
the fall,
they're meaning because you like them. That's the meaning.
Yeah, well, and I also really like it because every time I'm outside at night and it's cloudy and you can just see the moon peering out from the clouds, I just always think it's so cool. There's something about it that, like, I call it that witching hour.
That's fun too. I think that bats are fun. I wouldn't mind having like a couple of silhouette bats somewhere, you know, maybe in the tree on my back, like you know, little guys or whatever, somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, bats are just fucking awesome.
They are.
Hell yeah.
Definitely.
For me, I would get the Dark Mark. That's the tattoo that I've wanted the longest. Hands down. Slytherin all the way. Gotta do it. Gotta represent. I don't know if I would want the actual traditional imaged one or if I would want just, you know, something that is the same thing. Because it's a skull with a snake coming out of its mouth.
Right.
In which you can, you know, do interpretations and whatnot. But of course, I would get it on the left forearm, which is where it belongs, which is one of the painful spots from it.
Yeah.
but that's where you have to have it. If you're going to get the dark mark, you have to put it where it's supposed to go.
Yeah.
Like, you can't not put it somewhere else because it's not the dark mark.
I mean, as long as you don't, I mean, the ditch of your elbow is the worst part.
No,
as far
it
as
would
the
be
inside
like
of your arm.
right here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that would be too terrible.
that's
I think
where,
you'd be okay.
That's
It's
what I
gotta
was
be
thinking
there.
for one
Yeah.
of mine was right around in here. The one
Yeah.
that I would get for like me and my dad.
You'd be okay. I think you could handle it.
I
You could.
do think.
Yeah.
And then again, I'd be that one going like, motherfucker, God
I
damn
mean,
it,
you're
what the fuck
gonna
was I
be
thinking?
like motherfucker through
Yeah,
it.
the whole day.
I
Like,
mean,
I
you
probably
are.
would, that's at the one point where I probably would want the day guard, and it's like I just have to have it. I'm going to grit my
Yeah.
teeth. Like it's just going to
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
The other one is more kind of open. I would want something that's like a ghost / pumpkin Halloweenish type theme. That I wouldn't know where I would want to put it, but something of that nature. Maybe a little witch doctory as part of my ancestry in that sense, since I have that.
Oh yeah.
I think that would be something I would be interested in. And outside of the jumping trampoline guy, which is just my goofy side of one,
Mhm.
the other one, which is a
Right.
more recent concept because Melissa had asked me to get that tattoo, is a companion to hers. She has Lumos underneath her boob there. I wouldn't get Lumos because I'm opposite of her, so I would get Nox as the
Okay.
opposite as of that type of nature from it. But
That's cool.
once again, committing to pain. I don't know.
I wanted
Maybe
to
when
get-
I turn 40, I'll do one.
Hey, it could commemorate that transition in life. I wanted to
Yeah.
get mustaches on the insides of my pointer
I thought
fingers.
of like doing those type of things too, but
cool.
I'm like, I don't know how long I would want to do that.
I know.
That's another trend
It's so
one.
funny that we're talking about this, and I read these like the stupid like BuzzFeed and all the things. It's like tattoo artists hate doing, and one of them
Yeah,
like the
mustache.
like the finger mustache or like anything Harry Potter or like the infinity symbol.
Yeah,
things like
you start branching into like Pinterest level tattoos, like the arrow with the word "breathe" in it, or you know, like things of that nature.
Your typical
Yeah, that like
girl tattoo.
thousands of other people have the same exact tattoo. Then it gets kind of like,
Yeah.
could we do something new? You know, or the other thing
Yeah.
is like, you know, people who want a tiny tattoo with 1,000 details in it. Like that's
It's like,
not,
no,
that's,
you can't.
No.
It's not realistic.
no.
Or-
if you want a tattoo with details, you're gonna have to go bigger.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like
yes, the feather turning into birds. Yeah, that's it. or I love it. The college girls that get like the dolphins around the belly button, and then you see them like
Yes.
after having kids. It's like, well, those dolphins have turned to whales. You now have Free
Vicious.
Willy on your stomach.
That's very funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the tramp stamp tattoo.
Oh God.
That's such a generic tribal whatever.
I
on the
want to
back.
get
Yeah.
a Celtic dragon climbing over my shoulder, like it's
Oh.
climbing from my back up over my shoulder.
There you
'Cause
go.
I could
That's
hide it
great.
under. I could hide it under my polos at work, so I wouldn't be showing it. But then when I'm wearing my tanks and stuff like that at home, it would definitely show. I think it would be really freaking cool.
That's not a bad idea. The coolest
Yeah.
tramp stamp I ever saw was a girl I was really close friends with in my early 20s. She had flames coming out of her butt crack.
Oh, totally cool.
So, and it wasn't like some sexy flames or anything. No, it was just like random fucking like literal fucking
Flames coming
flames.
out.
Yeah. And
Did you ask her like what? She just wanted flames, or was she trying to say something about her butt?
no, she was just like trying to make a joke about
It's
tramp
a
stamps.
Hot
Like,
ass.
it's just a joke kind of a thing. And she'd like bend over on purpose, all like, hey, you know, and like pull her shirt up a little bit and
How
like
about-
make a farty noise and be
Do
like,
the
you know.
Steve-O tattoo of your name on my ass.
Yeah,
Like,
right,
that
yeah.
one. I have your name on my ass.
Yeah. It's fun
Or
stuff.
the one guy from Jackass who actually has his like portrait tattoo.
The
on
same
his back.
Steve-O.
Yeah,
Yeah, he has
Steve-O.
his whole thing, all his
with
tattoos.
his signatures. With his signature.
Mm-hmm. Like his dumbest tattoo. Which he has gone with like tattoos that he's regretted getting and stuff of that nature, which is always really interesting. I love his page. He's funny.
Mhm.
I think I've talked about it before where he did a mask, like made a mask to encourage people to wear masks, where he puts like dial soap, but it was like white soap in his mouth, so it looked like he had cum in his mouth. And then they took a photo of
I
that,
saw that.
and then they put that on the mask, so you wear that around.
Yeah,
That's fun.
that was.
Fun.
Yeah, I saw that. That's.
See,
I wish
that's
we could-
stuff's fun because we just need to laugh more.
Yeah.
And there's another reason why I
We
don't take
do.
my tattoos seriously either, because like I want to look at shit that's gonna make me smile and laugh and feel happy when I look at it.
That's
you
what
know?
that's what they're supposed to do.
I
know?
mean, yeah. I mean, for me, everybody has their own thing.
for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is what I
My
think
favorite-
tattoos are just that. Just
Like I have Krang in the same place you want yours, and that really wasn't bad. It wasn't until things came over here.
yeah.
You know
See,
what I
I
mean?
wouldn't quite go there. It would
Like-
have to be because it has to be showable when you're going like this to
Yeah.
Mhm.
See, that's
Signal
it.
Yeah.
That's just below the ditch in that spot, and it was really not that bad at all. It was pretty okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
Brammer said that
My-
he's worried he's gonna bitch out on his hand and his forearm now. You got this, buddy. Come on, you got it.
Then
Yeah,
again,
you can do it, Graham.
He almost did pass out getting his nipples pierced, so you know.
piercings is a whole nother thing. I don't. That one would be enough too.
See, the
Piercing?
piercing didn't. Well, I obviously don't have nipples pierced. It's just been my ears. I
I
didn't.
got my tongue pierced when I was younger.
I
I
can't
had
do
my
that
belly
being a
button
musician.
pierced.
Tongue
I
I
piercings
had my
like
belly
keep thinking
button
of Chris
pierced,
Rock.
but I was so skinny when I had my belly button done that she was hard pressed to get enough meat in order to actually pierce it. And then she pierced it, and about a week or two after she got it, after I got it, it got infected, so I had to pull it out. So I still have the scar from the belly button piercing, but I don't have the hole anymore. So yeah, it was sad.
I've heard belly buttons. It's a hit or miss, and they get infected really easily.
It's probably also just the style of belly button you have probably helps him.
I think that has to do with piercings in general, though. Like your body part has a lot to do with how the piercing goes and how it works. Because even my tongue piercing, because like the web under your tongue, mine comes out very far on like towards the tip of my tongue. So my piercing had to come forward further than I had hoped it was going to.
Yeah,
but yeah, so your body parts definitely have a lot to do with how you get pierced.
I want to get a cartilage piercing, but I got to make sure that my company won't, shy against it, because that's the way they are. So as it is, we're not allowed to color our hair any color that's not natural. But the color I'm getting ready to dye my hair is an amethyst black, and I'm like, it's black.
Ooh.
Purple in it, but it's black. So, yeah.
That's cool. I can't wait to see that. That's going to look awesome.
Yeah, I hope it does.
That's
I'm
always
probably
really
going to be doing it either this weekend or next weekend. I'm going to do it. So, yeah. Depending on what my new schedule is. So,
I stick with the auburns of whatever stage I feel at the time. I can't go too much darker. I feel dark. Like when I do, like it just like changes my whole mode. I'm like, like, I don't know. Marissa has the same problem. Like her aunt dyed her hair black and she was like so emo.
oh wow.
Marissa
Shake it out, girl.
Badass with her purple hair. She looked so good with purple hair.
Yeah.
She wants to go blonde. She wants me to take the purple out and go blonde.
It's gonna take a bunch to kind of do that, though.
Yeah, I got to do a shampoo bleach treatment first to try to get some of the purple out.
Yeah, because going to blonde after color treating it, you always want to do blonde when you're doing natural hair or virgin hair or whatever they like to call it.
Yeah.
I did blonde once when I was a freaking teenager, and then I was a dumbass and went swimming in a chlorine pool like the day I dyed my hair. And it turned that lovely, ugly shade of green, and I had to live with it for, a good month and a half in the middle of summer. So yeah, that was lovely. Yeah. The last thing you want to do when you're 14 years old is run around with hair that looks like you freaking got puked on by a nuclear mouse, you know. It was bad. It was so bad. My best friend at the
Toxic
time, she was a huge prep. You know, like she wouldn't walk out of the house without her hair and her makeup done and all this stuff. She walked over to my house after it all happened, and she walks in, she goes, "Holy shit, what the hell did you do to your head?" And I told her, I said, I screwed up. And she goes, "I can't be seen with you with your hair like that." I was like, "Fine, then I'm not fucking going anywhere with you." Yeah, so I had to pull my hair up into a hat in order to go out with her anywhere. She was like, "I'm not going anywhere with you with that hair."
Yeah,
Oh,
it is lame. That always sucks when you have a friend that did that. I had a friend my best friend who I told I was going to move to a different town, and then she unfriended me, and I ended up not moving. And she essentially unfriended me because she needed to make new friends because I was going to be leaving. And I was like, "I'm not even gone yet." Like, and so then ended up being my new group of friends who I had all the way through high school. So, but still, it was pretty fucked up.
I never had that. Well, no, I did. I take that back. I had a group of friends in elementary school that ditched me when we got into middle school.
Yeah, that happens though. That happened to me, and then I know it happened to my daughter. She lost like her first best friend when they got into middle school. Her best friend was a cheerleader and, you know, did all the cutesy girl stuff. And my daughter's more like, yeah, I'm going to go home and read a book and I'm going to learn and I'm going to, you know, so they kind of separated. I knew they had ditched me when I went into cafeteria and I went to go sit with them and there was no seats left at the table.
Oh, yep. That's vicious.
Mm-hmm.
Why are people so mean to each other?
Because girls are bitches.
Yes, especially in middle school.
That's when it happened.
Yep,
it literally happened in 7th grade. Is when that happened.
We are cunts in 6th grade. Some about 6th grade through about 9th grade, and then we kind of realized we can't be like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we get into college and get older and look back and go, "Oh my God, what? Why? Why were we like that?"
That's a girl bitch. I would be a bitch for no reason. It wasn't like I was trying to get hit on her boyfriend or a kid that she liked or things of that nature. Like, at least hate me for something of that nature. Don't hate me because I'm about to move and you need new friends.
Right.
Like,
yeah, screw that.
So I was a few weeks ago, I was trying to find some books for school, and I came across my 6th grade yearbook.
Diary? Oh,
man.
Diary, read it.
Yeah.
Today, I want to kill myself. I was so embarrassed at school.
See if you can find.
Here, let me make you bigger. Hold on.
Let's
you
see
can't
here.
see who.
Let's see.
Let's back it up just a little.
Yeah, the one in the blue, not purple, like the purple color. Yeah, that one. Yeah, the purple.
That was me in 6th grade.
Aww.
Cool.
So I was looking through this yearbook, and of course, like half these people I'd forgotten about. And then I started looking at them, and I was like, hated you. Really hate you. And like, I just never thought of these people. Like, I haven't thought about them until I actually looked at
the photos, and then
I was like,
came back. All the feelings came back.
Holy shit! I had a horrible time in 6th grade.
Yeah, I think these are my 7th or 8th grade yearbook. I wrote on people's faces, like that one I did. My high school, I didn't do any of that, but for some reason, that age, I wrote on this like bitch or something like that. Like wrote that on people's faces. My own yearbook.
Middle school was a rough time. I feel like you know, like 6th, 7th, 8th grade, like those years are pretty tough, man. Like that's like
for girls.
Even
guys,
I feel like freshman year of high school.
I did this. And
that's
like,
not true.
Yeah, but you didn't have. You know, Russ loved school. I hated middle school. I despised high school. And Russ was like, "I'd go back to high school in a minute if I could." I'm like, "Have fun."
Hell no.
Not me.
Hell No.
I didn't like school in general, but like I've talked to some dudes and like had conversations with them about like how middle school was kind of hell for them too, because you get like that surprise boner for no reason and like all those kind of things. You know, like those things are going.
Okay, that's true. We don't want that.
Like they're going through
The
that
worst
kind
for
of
the
stuff.
girl is the surprise period. If you're that late.
Yes.
Yeah, right. So it's like
Oh,
one of those
God,
situations where it's
yeah.
just awkward. Of course you did, Russ. Of course you did. It's just one of those situations where like your youth can be rather fucking awkward, especially when you're jammed into a situation where you're with a ton of other kids and everybody's just trying to prove that they're better than everyone else. You know what I mean? And it's just a really tough situation because you're all just awkward fucks. And that's just the way it is.
So kind of on that same topic, I had this conversation with my coworkers the other day. So when did you know some of your classmates were having sex?
Middle school.
Whether it was your actually friends or like just people you happen to know. Middle school was it. The big one was around 8th grade, where the one couple was the one that was rumored to be starting to have sex.
Well, we knew was when one of the girls got pregnant.
Yeah, that was
What age was that?
Oh God, I think
9th
like
grade,
freshman year. Yeah,
freshman year.
Yeah, I think it was like
that's young.
Year.
Was that? That's like got to be
14,
15,
That's
something
so
like
young.
that.
That's so young. I couldn't imagine that age having sex.
All through high school, there was like someone was pregnant every year I was in high school, like my grade, you know.
Yeah.
It was just a thing. It was just what happened, you know. And I can't imagine having sex at 14 either. Like I can't. I was 17, no joke.
I was 18.
I couldn't.
I was the oldest.
No
23 was when I first had sex.
Nice. Look at you.
See,
I plead the fifth.
Uh-oh.
Hey, Anna, I had a close guy friend who lost his virginity to his babysitter at 13. So, you know,
keep going. Keep going.
Oh, damn.
Babysitter, were they like 16 or something like that? Please don't tell me they were older than 18.
No. They were like 15, 16 years old.
Okay. It's like at that point, why were they having a babysitter? It was just kind of like watching them.
Well,
yeah.
Let's put it this way. I was at 9 years old. I was 5'9". I was developed. I had started my period. I looked almost the same at 18 as I did at 9.
Damn.
So it was, I was.
Dang, girl, you and Jay, huh?
Yeah.
You said 9?
I had no.
Jason too.
Yeah.
That's
I was
even
12.
harder to even imagine.
My first time was at 12.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my first time I was 12. But
okay.
So I made it from 9 to 12 before. Yeah, but first time was 12.
See, that's so hard because I'm
so
like
young.
9 years old and stuff.
Yep.
For me to look at a 9-year-old and think that they're having sex, duh.
Yep.
Like, no.
I
mean, I like at that age, it was kind of like playing around with the neighbor kid.
Yeah.
I will admit that, like at that time type stuff. Exploring each other's bodies type stuff, but not sex. Sex was much older on that end, but it was kind of like you still kind of curious on that end, or whatnot.
It's the oh, look what I have.
Yeah. Boys have penises and girls have vaginas.
Yeah.
Vaginas.
I like, because of working with elementary school kids, it's like around 3rd grade, near like the springtime, is when some of the teachers have to like talk to the girls and be like, you might want to start wearing something under your shirts, and like they talk like, well, they talk to the parents, they don't talk to the girls.
Right. Like you got to start having a
but
conversation.
They tell the parents, it's like they're starting to get the little nipple shown.
Yeah.
It's that little cone. I call it like that little cone that's starting.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
You gotta have that. You gotta have that conversation.
I think it's just. You just need that extra material there. That's all. It's just a little awkward. I mean, you are like, I feel like as a kid, you just are awkward. There's all these weird things that go on. And you're like, I don't fucking want to deal with it. Like I didn't. I was like, I don't want to fucking deal with this. I don't want to do this.
Right.
What do you say?
I don't know. What'd you say, baby? Russ,
Yeah,
what'd you say?
I said that's the age Donald Trump. I said that's the age Donald Trump starts to get interested in girls.
Oh my god.
Gotta bring that up. Don't bring that up right now,
Okay,
man.
move another conversation.
This is
Yeah,
a
yeah, I don't know.
non-political show.
Yeah,
yeah.
non-political.
We don't
Good
go there.
times,
No.
bro.
Oh,
We want good
don't-
times.
don't go there.
Anywho,
No, I was in my teens, man. Before I even like messed around like at all like that. I was in my teens. It was high school. Yeah.
Yeah, high school was fun. I did. Even though I did start dating, I did start dating Russ my junior year. So
it was a
There
little
you go.
bit in middle school, but it was more high school and then like after high school.
That's like I was in 8th grade the first time I French kissed a boy. And that was like that was as far as
Wow.
things went at that point in my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like
Ah,
it was a big, and it was like the tail end of the year. It was like right before school was out
Right.
for you know, and that was it. You know, that was the first time that ever happened for me. I wasn't really frisky as a young person.
And I didn't have my official first boyfriend until 9th grade, and he was pretty much like my best friend. So it wasn't even really like dating. We barely even held hands half the time.
it's like, do you want to just be my girlfriend?
It was kind of like that. Like we would walk together and kind of hold hands, but there really wasn't any. It was just more of a friendship.
right.
And then it was after that, like I dated other guys in high school.
I was picked on more than guys wanted to.
I know. I was
like
more
I was.
picked on.
It was more like making fun of me. That's what went down all the fucking time.
When I said I dated guys, it was guys that I knew that we would hang out and kind of say dating.
I was in 7th grade. My mom made me get a perm for the first time. It was like a thing we did together or whatever.
Yeah.
And my hair didn't hold it. So when I went to school the next, I think I got it that summer. And then when school started, it didn't hold, and it was just like a mess. And all of my guy friends called me Chewbacca that entire year. I swear to God, I'm not even like, it was I'll have to dig that picture up somewhere, but it's like I probably did look just like Chewbacca. Like it was just all fucked up and like retarded. Yeah, I was too awkward to think like I'd never put my brain in a sexual place because I was a super awkward kid. Like just not
Right.
It wasn't until like the end of my senior year when I really was like, yeah, I could get into this. I think 'cause at that point I was so confident with my body because I'd gotten the work done that I needed to get done to really feel confident. Thanks, Russ. Thanks.
What?
I
don't know.
It's gotta be something else.
Yeah, go on.
And so like I felt the confidence in me to be like, I look attractive. I look good. Guys might actually notice me. And they kind of did. And then it kind of went away. And it didn't help that I had this one guy that I probably dated on and off for almost 2 years. He was older.
Yeah.
And then I had sex and I became kind of a slut after that.
I've dated only older guys. My entire life, I've only been with guys who are older than me. Russ is actually one of the few who's closer to my age, because he's only a year older than I am. He's one of the
all
younger,
over the board, man.
I've been
And honestly,
older.
like here, Bethany, you got to sow your wild oats. You know what I mean? Like you got to get out there and have a good time. You're not a slut. You're not a whore. You're having fun, man.
Yeah.
Don't
I
put
really
yourself
don't
down.
think
Don't
so.
put yourself
I
down.
will take
Yeah,
that.
that's not
I
it.
will take that with honor. I will say that with
Yes.
honor. It was fun. I had fun.
Yes.
You got to sow some oats, baby. You got to figure out what you like. You know, you got to have some fun. It's nothing wrong with that.
And like
Mhm.
I'm like with Anna. Most of the guys I dated were slightly older. I was with the few that were a little younger than me.
Jesus.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my god.
And then of course now
I wish
there's
he had a mute
Jason.
button sometimes.
Yeah.
But then again, now look, I'm married to Jason, who is, 9 years older than me.
Mhm.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie. I was like 35, and there was a situation with a dude that was in his early 20s.
There you
That's
go.
Nice.
some Robin the Cradle
You go,
situation.
Shan.
But
You
my
go.
second
Hey, hell
marriage,
yeah.
my ex-husband was 10 years older than me. So it's like it's
Mhm.
like I don't think it matters how old a person
Yeah.
is. I
Once
just
you get older, I think it
age
probably doesn't
doesn't
matter
matter.
so much. But mine have always been younger.
yeah.
So I do like to give Jason a hard time sometimes because he'll be like listening to his song or something. He's like, "Oh yeah, do you remember when this came out and so and so?" And I was like, "No, I was like 4 years old," and he was like, "Oh God." He's like, "I
Yeah,
don't wanna
that's what
think
that that's why when I was 35 and I'm looking at this like 20 something year old person and I'm like I can't. Like I just can't. Like you don't even know shit. Like you don't know
You're a
things.
baby. You're a
Like,
baby.
you-
You're a baby.
Yeah.
Right.
Like you have no understanding for like anything at all. Like,
Yeah, no doubt.
So yeah, I could never do that. Like I know plenty of people who that doesn't bother.
Yeah.
They're like whatever. It's just
No.
time
There's some
bringing.
people who
Right.
know more stuff. They probably have older siblings, and they seem like they're much older than
Mhm.
they are, and all that type
Right.
of stuff. So I think that kind of also plays into it, is how you grew up and what knowledge you have. On that.
My mom and dad were 10 years apart. My mom was 10 years older than my dad was. So, I grew up with, it's totally cool.
Mm-hmm.
There's no problem with older.
I feel like once it broaches a situation where like somebody is of an age that could be your child, like that age bracket, that fluctuation, I think
Mhm.
that's definitely too far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that.
If I could have given birth to you, then
Yeah,
that's-
no.
Yeah.
dude, I can't. No.
No.
Yeah.
There was a chance.
Yeah. No.
Or
I couldn't,
like when guys are dating, younger women who are like not much older than like their daughter.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a little much.
When I lived in Louisiana, there was a girl in my class. She was 14 years old. She married a 35-year-old who had a 15-year-old daughter.
Mhm.
And I was like, excuse me?
It's just like I think everybody stands on different moral grounds. You would hope that like there's like a spot where no one else will cross.
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
people do. That's fine.
Yeah. I couldn't have done. Nope.
I like how we were nowhere near our topic.
I know,
Yeah,
like
It's supposed to be Halloween.
I know, like, or at least talking about fall things and the pumpkin spices and all these kind of things. Like, I was gonna tell you guys about my son's like pumpkin spice addiction and all that stuff, and
We can
how
do
I'm
it next
secretly,
week.
Yeah, next week.
That could be
secretly,
next
I want to
week.
buy him Uggs for Christmas.
Yay.
He's so basic, but anyway.
That could be next week.
So
We'll talk about it next week.
Yeah, we can. Do that.
Yeah. Hey,
I realized
we
that like
covered sex,
halfway
we
in,
covered
like,
food.
we were talking, I was like, we're nowhere near our topic, but that's okay because
Yeah.
we're having fun.
There was no real way to bring it back. I had noticed that half an hour in. I was just
Yeah.
like, I don't think this is going down
Oh, well.
Halloween route.
No.
It's okay.
But
No,
we had fun. I
No,
think
fine.
it was a fun conversations we had.
Yes, pumpkin
Hey,
spice and everything
we
naughty.
We covered a Halloween thing though. We brought up bats. We're good.
Yeah, bad.
Sure. Yeah, and tattoos.
And tattoos, yeah.
Yeah.
that can be a fall
Exactly.
thing. You know.
Yeah.
Sure.
Most
Sorry, I didn't
definitely.
mean to derail that. I just wanted to show you guys like this. I just got this on Tuesday. I was like all excited, and like I wanted to bring it up earlier, and I kept forgetting, and then I kept remembering as my hands are moving. I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Oh,
It's like
well,
a-
right?
we got in on the phones and then gaming and it was the internet and games and
Yeah.
Mhm.
then come on, that's our show. Our show's so derailed sometimes.
I love it. And it makes
It's
it
awesome. I
fun.
don't care.
Yeah.
I
That's
love
how
it
women's
like that.
brains
It's like
work.
What's the topic tonight? I don't know. We're derailing everything. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
This is the third point.
Well, but
Third point, it goes
isn't
from
that
there.
how a woman's brain works? We start on a track, and then it's next thing we know, we're all on like completely different planet on a
That's
track.
how it works. That's just how it works. You just pick up from the next thing.
Yeah,
It's
It's
super
like-
fun.
Impromptu. It's yes and.
I
That's
forget
sort of-
sometimes how having female friends is like
Sorry.
that you talk to regularly, like friends you talk to on a daily
Mm-hmm.
basis. Because I talk to you guys once a week, but it's a little different when you talk to somebody almost daily. You know what I mean? Like face to face.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And when I met up with my girlfriend Amy over the weekend, it was like that moment where you're in conversation and there's like 5 different conversations going on with the same
Mhm.
person and you're just bouncing and like, oh yeah, by the way, when we were talking about this, I wanted to tell you, you know, and it's just one of those like very
Right.
back and forth,
Mhm.
very fun things. I think you guys would love her. She's a very fun person. I'm kind of like
Sweet.
looking forward to time framings when you guys can meet her over like the Thanksgiving holidays and so forth, because she's just a delightful person.
Sweet. I like delightful people.
Yeah, and she's like she's one of those like I don't give a fuck kind of people. Like she was talking about costumes with me over the weekend, and she was telling me that she wants to dress up. She wants to do a Pulp Fiction costume.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, she wants to do Uma Thurman, but directly after the overdose with a needle hanging out of her chest. And I'm like,
Oh, that's wicked.
That's a great idea. It's a memorable moment in that movie. Like that's pretty
yeah.
hilarious. So yeah,
Oh,
it's just
hell
like
yeah.
just to be funny, just to be, you know, just for bullshit and giggles and whatever. So that was a fun topic to discuss. And then to find out like there was someone standing there who was like, what's Pulp Fiction? And I was like, shut up, just stop.
Well, you know my feelings about that movie. It has a certain someone I don't like in it, so
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
Can't do it.
don't like it.
You're
I've seen
forgiven.
it. I've seen it.
We all
no.
have our faults, Grims. We all have our faults.
So, again, derailing
But the
on
Samuel L.
this-
Jackson stuff is cool, but the rest of it sucks.
derailing on when we were doing like our movies, the episode
Yes.
of our movies, and we were talking about like the chick flicks that like comedy chick flicks that like we really like. The one movie I can't believe I never thought of that was it's probably one of my favorite is 10 Things I Hate About You.
Okay,
Yeah. That was a 90s delight.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
that
High school.
that and Knight's Tale.
Bridget Jones's Diary.
That's Bridget Jones's Diary. That's a pretty good one too.
I like
Anywho,
Yeah, so it's
It's-
like I get.
I was gonna say it's 10:10. So we'll start ending this. I guess to everyone here, you probably already know where we're all at. So I'll throw
I
up just the
hope
things
so.
real quick. So you can find us on all social medias as well as all music, podcasts, listening things. Don't forget to stay moist.
Yep.
Make sure. That's for you.
Yes.
Bye. And you'll have a wonderfully. Oh wait, does anyone have anything to plug? Sorry, do that real quick.
Oh, the gravies, of course, the shelf gravies.
Shelf gravies. The
Nerds has
the-
spoken.
Nerds That's Spoken. Anything else? Anna,
MPSP
anything for you?
Theater.
There you go. All that. So yes, check out all those shows as well as follow us again on next Thursday. Have a wonderful evening.
Bye.